It's coming through a little bit there. Let me just move this mic. Ta-da. Sorry, I thought I had this one set to use the webcam mic, but I guess not. So, as I was saying, we've got 3 different stickers to go in circulation this year. So, let me just get the bag open here. Alright, so first off, we did a limited reprint, as you can see, very limited, of the one we gave out last year, because there were a few people that should have gotten some that didn't. So, Frog, it's good to see you again. How have you been? Yeah. So, we're going to be at Otakon this year. So, just getting a few things ready for that. Fair enough, fair enough. Definitely understand that. Okay. Actually, I should update my title here just to say which convention. There we are. But yeah, we're going to be at Otakon this year, as we always are, playing in the halls and actually doing a panel as well on Japanese, as you'll see circulating in the notes there here in just a moment. And be teaching people different kanji learning strategies and things like that. In the meantime, though, we've got 3 different designs of stickers that we just had arrive here. So, like I said, we got a limited reprint of the ones from last year. And then, for anybody who walks up, we've got this one that we're going to be handing out this year based on our trademark cherry takoyaki. Go ahead and get you maybe a little bit of a closer up shot there. And then for those who have one of last year's stickers and shows it off, letting us know that, hey, they're a repeat visitor, we have a special sticker we did a limited run of. So we've got 500 of these guys and 100 of these guys to label. And printing labels like I did to put on the backs of them last year was a lot of work. So this time I did the smart thing and I got a custom stamp made that does this, like so. Now, obviously, stamping 600 of these is going to take a bit of time, which is why I figured we'd go ahead and do a just chatting stream. And, of course, you're going to go ahead and get a set of these in with the plushie there, Hanabi. I've already got them set aside for you. Oh, man, I definitely understand that one, Frog. And Elijah VT, welcome. Thanks for joining us. My name is Kaji. I teach Japanese and I play bass, doing a lot of anime and game tracks. Who knows, we might go ahead and break out the bass a little bit here just to switch things up, perhaps. But for right now, we are trying to get some of our con prep taken care of here. ああ、なるほど、なるほど。ラジャさんは日本語ができますか？ The other tricky thing, the one downside I realized here with the stamp, by the way, is that the ink doesn't dry very quickly here, and it kind of is a little bit powdery, so I'm gonna be like spreading these all over the desk and collecting them in a bit here, probably. Actually, let's go ahead and see how the ones we did last night fared here, so we know if it's gonna really stain them once we put them back in. Well, fortunately, if we leave them out for a couple of minutes, they seem to be okay. And the finish on these stickers is such that, truth is, anything that did transfer onto them wipes off. So, that's good. These are done through Vistaprint, by the way. They do some really good quality printing there for some pretty decent prices on these types of stickers. Alright, so... Did I ever tell you I got slapped in the face by Jesus at my first convention ever? No. Why don't you go ahead and share that story with us, Navi? Sounds like a fun one. Watashi tada manandemasu. God, I think it's scuffed. No. それは大丈夫です。大丈夫です。ちゃんと理解できるから大丈夫です。Yeah, I understood you just fine there. Thank you for the resub, Frog. Speaking of frogs here, you know, if anybody's old school enough to catch the references here. Yeah, geez, I got this mouse pad when I was like 14, so it's definitely seen a bit of use over the years. I get you. I get you. I use a Mac for most of my stuff, but when I switch over to doing things on PC, it takes a little while to figure out the Japanese functions on it all over again. Let's see, bought a Totoro plush and was playing with a kunai that you'd bought there. I need to restart Japanese lessons, but Spanish is more beneficial. I definitely understand that. Kept stabbing myself and just saying ow over and over. That reminds me of another fun sword fighting story I'll share once you finish that one, Hanabi. And Jesus walked up to me, stole my Totoro, and slapped me in the face and said, "You need to stop hurting yourself. I love you. You're grounded." The end. Okay. A little bit of a different direction than I thought that was going to go, but okay. Now, my swordplay story, which actually technically is my brother's. So, for those of you who, let's see here. I think I've got a shout out program for you. No, I actually don't. I'll just type this one out, I guess. Okay, so this is more Jegshin's story, I guess, in a way, but I was witness to it and actually recorded it. But unfortunately, I recorded this in like 2004, so it's kind of disappeared over the years. But the first time my brother went to a convention with me, he disappeared almost immediately after getting through the Incon registration line around noon. It was like literally right as the dealer's room was opening up. And so, yeah, he made a beeline for the dealer's room. We didn't see him for another half hour. In that half hour, our convergent had spent $400. And if anybody here has seen Rush Hour 2, he looked like Chris Tucker when they arrived in Hong Kong. He didn't have a chicken, but he did have the full silk suit that he was wearing throughout the convention center, along with, I think, like 3 different swords, plus a couple of wall scrolls and other things. Again, first half hour the dealer's room was open. So, bargaining skills and timing were things that we hadn't had a chance to impart to him, much less for him to learn for himself. But now, quite the amusing sight to say the least when we found him again. Um, and then a little later on, you know, I hadn't bought any swords myself at this point because I remember I'd actually taken up kendo a couple of years prior, and Mom and Dad were like, no real swords in the house. And being the relatively obedient son, I decided, okay, fine. I was just making do with wood and bamboo. My little brother was more of the view of better to ask forgiveness than ask for permission, and so he just like, hey, we have swords in the house now. It's like, okay, we have swords in the house now. And he has done his best over the years to try and develop some skill with it. He's certainly better than I ever got with it. Well, there was one point during this convention where he ran across a Shinsengumi cosplayer. For those who aren't familiar with Shinsengumi, it's a faction from Kenshin. And the guy was going around with a Vulcan himself. And, okay, what you're saying is sword fight Jag. If you want, I mean, your funeral, but, but yeah. I used to have recorded video of this fight here, where Jag challenged this Shinsengumi cosplayer to a fight, sword fight, in the hall, like literally right outside Video 1 in the Baltimore Convention Center. And we're not talking, 2 minutes and done. This thing went on for about 5-6 minutes, and again was right outside one of the main video rooms. And somehow a staff member never came up to break it up, which was probably for the best because, yeah. I forget if he actually, broken it. I hope he wasn't silly enough to use live steel, because that would have been an instant ejection from the con. Not that, the fight itself probably wouldn't have been justification there, but yeah. No balls in the house. Yeah, no, we got swords in ours. Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. All kinds of fun back in the old days of conventions there. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still fun to be had at conventions these days, but I don't know. Maybe it's the group of friends. Well, a lot of it is the group of friends you build up along the way. I will say, going to conventions on one's own with nobody to share the fun with is, But then again, that's part of the reason why I started playing in the halls in the first place. Was my first several. Hey, Sato, it's good to see you. My first year going to Otakon, I put together a group of friends that we'd never actually met in person. We'd only chatted via AIM off of a Rama 1/2 fan site. We were all forum friends on there. And I was like, hey, let's go ahead and meet up and, share a room and all that. And that group stayed together for a good while. Probably about, 5-8 years or so. And as that group started retiring, I, through my girlfriend, started making friends with a lot of the artists, both regulars at the conventions and the ones that were active on Gaia Online, which led to another group of friends to hang out with and help out with their booths and things like that. And then that group started retiring, so 2012, I remember basically spending the entire weekend on my own, wishing there was someone to do stuff with, and being a little on the bored side the whole time, to be honest. I was glad I went, because it's much better to be at a convention than to miss the convention. But I kind of decided that I didn't want to have another weekend like that again. So when 2013 was coming up and I didn't really have any new friends to share it with, I decided, okay, let's go ahead and do this then. So I got a battery-powered amp for my bass. And yeah, learned about a dozen songs. Basically, the Mega Man 2 soundtrack, Super Mario Overworld from Mario 1, Starlight Zone, Doom E1M1, Tetris, and started jamming in the halls there. Otakon 2013. Been doing it ever since. With the staff's blessing, no less. Yeah, every year I'll have staff come up to me once, just as a token, hey, just make sure you watch the volume. It's like, okay, no problem. But other than the once a year kind of thing that seems to happen, we usually the staff appreciates the soundtrack. The convention center staff in particular seems to always enjoy it, and so yeah, I've got a small fan base that I've developed over the years there. Yeah, let's see here. Out of context quotes, no. Through my girlfriend, like as in I knew people through someone else. Yeah, no. Did not toss any person in any sort of literal manner. Jeez. I wasn't there for this one, but I remember it one year at KatsuCon as well. Double booked with KatsuCon, well, triple booked really, was a Marine unit's anniversary, which, they were all about the anime stuff. They had no problem with it, and some of them even joined in on it. And a Southern Baptist convention of some sort, apparently. Who were apparently not as receptive to being booked alongside the Freak Show. Yeah, that's one. Jeg was there for that, so yeah, a set of stories to ask him about sometime, but it was quite the experience, apparently. I think at one point he said they actually reenacted the crucifixion with a Wolfwood cosplayer, with Wolfwood and a Jesus cosplayer. Yeah. We're making a small dent in that pile. Small. Let's see about gathering some of these back up here. Jesus cosplayers are kind of mainstay at conventions, believe it or not. I can't recall a convention I've never seen one anyway. Yeah. Now, whether it's your traditional Jesus or the bro Jesus from Dogma, that's a different matter. But yeah, he's a pretty frequent guest at conventions in some manner or another. Oh, hey, we're actually about halfway through the stack there. It looks like. Okay. Yeah, Raptor Jesus is another one. Yes. And variations on Wolfwood are also used to be very popular. In particular, I can remember Jewish Wolfwood showing up several times, and communist Wolfwood a couple of times as well. One year there was a panel for Jesus, His Apostles, and Satan. Oh, jeez. Was that up at Anime Boston, or? なんで答えそうだね。 Yeah, mostly I've been a regular at. I think I've only missed Otakon 2 years in the past 20. Um, Other than, of course, their cancellation in 2020. Um, but I remember one year I really managed to, because I lived in California for a few years, and I think it was 2007. Um, I managed to hit Fanime, AX, and Otakon all in the same year. So that was a fun year. I remember waiting in line to get in at AX that year. There was a girl who was probably, about 5 foot even and, maybe 100 pounds, who decided to do Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. Not particularly unusual, but in their effort to go for authenticity, they decided to go ahead and do Cloud's Buster Sword and made it out of plate steel. Like literally, they went ahead and bolted together a couple of plates there. The main blade itself was probably about a half a centimeter thick, and then other parts that had layers to the plate. Um, yeah, so naturally, as heavy as that is, the sword itself was only about maybe a quarter scale. But yeah, even so, that thing I think weighed about 60 pounds, the way that they had it built. Jeez, did not envy them for that one. Going to Anime NYC this year, very excited. Nice, nice. Any particular events you're going to be checking out while you're there, Seda? I remember one year, Otakon held a 4chan panel as well, which, to spare the details on that, went about as one would probably expect. I believe, from what I recall, they got sidetracked on the topic of furries, and then, yeah, it kind of went downhill from there. Um, hmm. Yeah, I found a list of vendors at Otakon. Let's see if any of their websites, if there is a Takoyaki plushie. Okay, good to know. Let me know which booth they're at. We'll see what we can do. Last year, Hall of Myth was a guest. They haven't announced a lot yet. But yeah, yeah. Geez, what was it? I think I heard it was Crunchyroll or something where they're apparently having everyone from Hololive as a guest, something like that. Council. Still, that's not bad. That's quite the catch. Especially right after they debuted. Okay, let's get that one dropped. Yeah. So, like we were saying here, though, in case anybody missed at the beginning, this is a reprint of the sticker we were handing out last year. It's the traditional Kaji stamp that I've used for a very long time. It was the initial logo I was using for my branding here. This is the new sticker we're handing out this year. Yeah, anybody who comes up to me is welcome to have one. We've got a whole bunch, as you can see. And then this one that we're stamping right now is a little special one I did with one of our emoji here, or one of our emotes. And it's primarily intended for anybody who comes and shows one of last year's stickers. But if you come up and say you see me on Twitch, maybe even share a favorite moment, I'll be happy to give you one of those as well. Lord knows, I handed out 200 stickers last year, and I doubt we're going to get 100 of them coming back this year. Although, hey, anything's possible, right? So much easier than doing the printed labels I did last year, especially having to manually stick them in position. Now, of course, I do find it kind of amusing, though, that, when I was doing the designing the thing here, I put Japanese by the base Kaji screen name there, and base Jams by the Sensei screen name. It's like, okay, I didn't think that one out well enough, but it is what it is. But yeah, as far as other upcoming things on the channel go, got a fun little piece of kit here recently, so might be seeing about doing some experiments here with maybe a Beat Saber stream or something like that coming up. Definitely going to try and figure out how to work in a few more gaming streams in the near future here. We hit 1 year at affiliate back on the 12th, and be busy with things. I haven't done anything to commemorate that yet, but we're probably going to sometime in the next month or so going to see about doing an extended stream to celebrate that. So. Making progress. Okay, one vendor site has 20 pages of plushies, not one takoyaki. Well, you know what? If we can get, 400 subs on this channel, we'll go ahead and commission Takoyaki. How's that sound? Kickstarter when? That's a great question. Actually, yeah, might see about doing one for some of my Japanese stuff here. I have various ideas on Japanese learning apps, things like that I've been trying to do for a while. Got a lot of prototyping done. I've even demonstrated some of those prototypes on stream before, but it's one of those things where my coding skill only goes so far. Yes, I do it professionally, but I primarily do web design, not mobile app development. And we really need someone who knows how to work the interface elements so they size to different screens and things like that, right? Time to promote. Yes, definitely. That's one area I've always needed to figure out a little bit better. But found an egg plush that kind of looks like a takoyaki. Okay. I mean, yeah. Takoyaki, tamagoyaki, what's the difference, right? Both are darn good, I'll say that. see that. I could see that. But yeah, as the things have been noting in the panel there, I'll be running a kanji learning strategies panel at Otakon on Saturday night, at least according to the current version of the schedule. Um, and so that's going to be basically distilling, again, over 20 years of learning Japanese and really falling in love with the topic of kanji in particular, to find ways to make it less frightening and, yeah, a more interesting, faster process overall, relative to a lot of what you normally see and get told when setting out and trying to work in that stuff. So, with any luck, we might go ahead and do a stream next week to kind of do a dry run of the panel. If we don't do it before, we'll definitely do one after. I've been meaning to sit down and work on a slide deck to go with it, and I keep getting sidetracked. um, but like I said, we're definitely going to do a version of that here on stream as well. Also going to see about trying to work in some more of our actual teaching streams again, as we figure out scheduling and such. By the way, if anybody here isn't on the Discord, I'll put the link in chat. Feel free to join up. It's where we keep people informed on what we're doing, and also collect suggestions on things like timing, content, things like that. In the meantime, recently we've been doing a variety of other things for our language streams here. We've been doing primarily gaming-based collabs here, where we'll go ahead and play a game in a foreign language. Such as Armand Zeugel and I have been teaming up to do Keep Talking Nobody Explodes in Japanese with the Japanese manual. We'll even trade off on that to give each other practice figuring it out and working with it on the fly, which is quite the interesting experience, to say the least. Yeah, we both have a great deal of fun with it. We've even done more of it off stream, just can't get enough of it, it seems. I tried that recently with the VR mode, and that was a interesting experience. In some ways it's easier, in some ways it's like, okay, give me the mouse again. How's one feel about Japanese Valorant? Been doing it for a couple of months now. Interesting. I know a couple of Japanese players who stream it on a regular. I've never actually played Apex for Valorant or anything in that stream there. Yeah, not opposed to getting into it per se, I guess, if people would like to see it. But yeah, definitely, if that's a way that you're finding to get practice, then I definitely encourage that. As a way to, again, get some natural conversation in and dialogue and so forth. And especially with native speakers, no less. Let's see here. Another one that we've got coming up on Sunday, actually, probably around 3 p.m. Eastern Time, or UTC -4 if you're international, is we're going to be doing Portal 2 with our friend Nataliendra, who is native Austrian and has been coaching me in German. Back in March, people were asking, hey, how Sensei would approach learning a new language, and we put it to a vote. German was selected, and I've been going at it pretty hard since, to be honest. It's been a whole lot of fun. And so we're going to be playing Portal 2 co-op in German. kind of like when we did that with Tia last fall, except German this time instead of Japanese. Um, we managed to get through the entire first set of levels with Tia without anybody shouting or raising their voices the entire time. So we'll see how it progresses with German here. Uh, it's definitely going to be an interesting experience being the definitely being in clearly in the student position for that one. Um, okay, so that's all of the knife stickers stamped. Now it's time to get into the takoyaki stickers. In Japanese is highly scuffed, no promises. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to play a game together or something like that, I'm definitely open to doing so. Again, yeah, the best way to do that is to hit me up on Discord and we can coordinate through there. Um, but yeah, always looking forward. Always enjoy opportunities to meet new people, do new things, and yeah, try and demonstrate for people ways that you can make language learning interesting and less frightening. So a lot of people are like, well, afraid of making mistakes and so forth. There, at the same time, the best way to get proficient in a language is to use it. There's just no way around that. Yeah. I mean, here I am, I'm hopping in on the German thing, and I don't quite know how to say that this is above that. So that's going to make Portal interesting, but we're probably going to cover some basics there real quick, I'm sure. I only know what HoloLive has taught me. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, no, I always love watching their language teaching bits there. Especially like, the one with Kiara teaching Gura German, for example. Um, let's see. Or there was another one that Jeg showed me, which was, it was Callie and another one from Ian, and then two from Japanese as well. And I remember one of the Japanese girls basically called out the other one for being like, hey, don't let her fool you thinking she's good at this. She's just saying yes to everything. It's like, there's always some interesting moments, to say the least. The only important things with in a foreign language is the bad words, though. Am I wrong? Well, funny you mentioned that, because my view on that topic is that even if you never intend to use them, you always want to at least be aware of when someone is using them towards you. So, yeah, I'm all for learning the bad language in any foreign language you learn. Again, you don't have to use it. If you're not the type of person that swears, that's nothing wrong with that. But, again, just being aware of, what, I might be in some sort of trouble is always, always good to be aware of. But yeah, it's always interesting too seeing some of the things like, again, going back to the Kiara Gagura lesson there, where, Kiara's teaching Gura some not so nice things in German. I forget who egged that one on or who prompted it, but um, she's all nervous, trying to explain how to say it in German there, and then Gura's just like, yep, there, throws it out like it's nothing. The disbelief and so forth is always, yeah. Interestingly enough, I've seen that come up a few times here. It's like, there's a Swiss German VTuber that I watch on a regular, and she has a redeem where she'll teach you a bit Swiss German word for a few points and things like that. It's like, okay, so I went ahead and redeemed it for the first time in a while here, and the other day, and the one that we ended up with at chat's suggestion was Gopfadami, which basically is about what you would think if you look for the closest English analog there. And she conceded that yes, that is in fact Swiss German there, but at the same time, it's one of those things where, you know, she admitted she never really feels comfortable cursing in German. You know, in the case where that one would come up, she usually just says "God damn it" in English and moves on. Hi, Kino. Did not think you were seriously learning German. Ich wirklich lerne Deutsch. Mm. Ich wirklich lerne deutsche Sprache. Ähm, mm. Deutsche Sprache ist sehr einfach. To a point. Someone needs to practice. Yeah, I mean, most of my practice has been reading things. I haven't really had much opportunity to practice speaking in a while, especially speaking with somebody. I did get off to a decent start because Dino was there to help out the very first time I was starting the lessons on Duolingo there. So, speaking of which, that was probably one of the most fun times ever when we were doing our Takoyaki collabs. When we were doing that Mark Twain bit. Somewhere we have a recording of me going off for about a minute or so, maybe a little longer, with a speech that alternates back and forth between English and bad German. And yeah, once I got into the flow on that thing, that was amazing. Yeah. If you know where that link is, you're welcome to drop it into the chat, by the way, Hanabi. I think it's on the Discord for that project. Yeah, my pronunciation's come a long way since that. Very, very basic German. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm finding there are more people that know German on Twitch than I ever would have thought, actually. I mean, besides just simply knowing a number of German VTubers, I've met a number of other people who actually speak German reasonably fluently to different degrees. Yep, there's the link. I'm not sure what proportion German I am, especially since I have it on both sides of the family in different spots. So, but yeah, Nat is one of the people that's been helping me out primarily here. She and Dino both take turns answering questions and offering insights, and yeah. I'll sometimes converse with Nat or make comments in German in her chat, and she'll help guide things in the right direction grammatically. So she's always been very patient about that, which is why she makes a very good initial partner for doing the collab with doing Portal 2 in German. I get that. I get that, Kino. Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Actually, on that note, we never did finish the Colonel Sanders dating sim, did we? Yeah, we generally try and keep it wholesome on the channel here. Maybe not perfectly say so, but wholesome at least. Um, that's good. That's good. Speaking of which, while we're at it, we should probably give a shout out to Hobby as well as one of the staunchest supporters of the channel here. Is an art streamer who also does various games and so forth. Yeah, say so isn't necessarily her thing, but yeah, it's always a good time over there. So definitely go ahead and check them out. Well, there's some art streamers I know that I started following them for their art streams, and then they turned into game streamers who sometimes art. So it goes either way sometimes. Um, I mean, there's nothing wrong with game streams. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely, uh, much more of an art stream type of person generally. Ah, Jay, it's good to see you. How have you doing? Yeah, we've been sharing con stories and things like that here as we get prepped for Otakon. So I'll go ahead and give you a shout out as well, actually. Uh, let's see. Yeah, I've got 600 stickers to stamp here in preparation for Otakon, so I figure we get it done. Since it looks like we're probably going to be about 4 hours stamping all these things, I figured it would be nice to have some company. I used to do daytime streams actually, a couple of times a week, and so it was a chance to reconnect with some people I haven't seen for a while. But yeah, Kidoka though, or also known as Jay, is another art streamer here, who got started on Twitch relatively recently. Actually, it's kind of a funny story how we met on Twitch because I actually know Jay from having met on the way home from AX 2007. And we've kept in touch ever since, on DeviantArt and other platforms. But I was hanging out in, I think it was Kronko's stream one evening when he decided to, I guess, raid, someone at random from the art tag. I don't know how he decided because I was like, out of the room when the raid occurred. I came back and I see Jay. It's like, oh wow, wow. I didn't even know she was on Twitch, so it was a really really pleasant surprise being reunited with an old friend like that. And it's been a lot of fun hanging out on her stream since. But yeah, and I think you said you're getting ready to go to CRX yourself here, aren't you? So. But yeah, so basically though, as we've been mentioning, we've got a bunch of stickers here. We handed out this one last year. We ordered a few more for this year, just for people that missed them last year. Yeah, a limited run for a few special people anyway. Anybody who walks up to me this year is going to be getting this sticker, based on our cheering takoyaki. That's why we've got so many of them that we are working on right now. Thank you for the follow, Elijah. And then, as a special one for anybody who comes up showing last year's sticker or mentions that they've watched the stream on Twitch, we have a special sticker here with the takoyaki there. I kind of figured that would be a fun one. So, yeah. Let's see here. There's something about 293. What? Let's see. Skimming back up, I think I might have missed a little something in chat here. Let's see. Okay, no, we might be up to date after all. 293. Oh, okay. I'm glad you like it. Obviously, not everybody is going to be at Otakon, so if anybody would like, a sticker, you're welcome to send me a note on Twitch here or something, and yeah, I'll be happy to arrange to get things sent out to people. Might ask for say, I don't know, a couple dollars to cover the shipping or something. But yeah, definitely be happy to hook up anybody with a sticker who wants one. Where is CRX actually? Come to think of it. These were made over at Vistaprint. They're the 2-inch vinyl stickers. And yeah, absolutely no complaints on the quality there. I think these ones might even be a step up from the ones I did last year, which were the same items. San Jose Convention Center. Okay. Yes, over where Phantom is, I think. So, yeah. It's been a little while since I've been to San Jose. I used to live there. Definitely don't miss taking the Greyhound, though. Jeez. The Greyhound in California, it seems like, Fresno must pay them to stop at that one Burger King there along the way, because, man, Fresno is kind of like the cow capital of California, and it smells like it when you get there. It's so heavy in the air that, oof, you can taste it in the water and the fountains in the Burger King there. It's like... Yeah, I'm sure you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, Jay. Now, what is a fun experience, if you've got a few extra days for travel, is taking Amtrak. It's about as expensive as flying, maybe a little bit more, and it's going to be, about a day's worth of travel for every hour your flight would have been. But about a year ago, I took it to visit my grandfather out in Utah, and yeah, so 4 days from DC to Utah. But it was a really fun experience there, especially getting to see the Rocky Mountains at ground level instead of just simply flying over them. Oh, maybe I should label this as an ASMR stream instead. Definitely feels good. This really glad I went ahead and paid for the stamp here because trying to do Avery labels like I did last year was more stress than anything else. I'll put it that way. Yeah. One thing I have thought about doing for fun one stream is I actually have my aunt's old electric typewriter she took to college back in the 70s. And I'll tell you what, that thing is a lot of fun to play around on. Yeah. It's one of those things where you kind of, you just start getting into a flow typing, then you run to the end of the line, so you kind of have to reset, get back into it. But man, that thing just, there's something satisfying about typing on that one that you just don't get on a computer keyboard. Even a mechanical one doesn't quite capture it. My sympathies, Kino. By the way, if anybody wants to have a little bit of fun here, there are some redeems here that for very inexpensive that allow you to play around with the takoyaki there, either changing him or sending a little something his way. So feel free to have a bit of fun as well if you like. There we go. So has anybody watched anything good lately? I still need to catch up on the back half of Spy Family there, and then after that it's time to hunt down season 3 for Kaguya. After that, it's kind of where to go in the queue on Crunchyroll from there, I guess. Nothing wrong with SAO. Well, let me rephrase that. I know people who have issues with SAO, but I don't object to it. We'll put it that way. Alright, so you need to get back, Jay. The summer rendering, okay. Summertime rendering, okay. Exactly, Elijah, exactly. I mean, Hunter x Hunter, yeah, okay, I get that one, but yeah. Just off titles, the one you mentioned, Hanabi, kind of reminds me of Summer Wars, which is a much better movie than I ever expected it to be when I first started it. Triple X Holic in that case, maybe. I think I see where you're heading with that. I mean, it has kind of moved on from there after all to other arcs in there. And that's just technically the name of the first arc. I guess so, and I mean, I guess so. Just for fun, I think we will change the category to ASMR just to see what happens. And also rewatching Mermaid Melody, Peachy Peachy Peach. Okay. Actually, that reminds me. I've been debating maybe perhaps taking a shot at one hand clapping sometime just to see if maybe it helps with learning to sing on pitch better or if it just makes it more frustrating. Sorobo Chikyu yo Tabidatsu fune wa Uchu senkan Yamato. Actually, that reminds me, Hanabi, have you heard from Scat Cat lately? He seems to have disappeared in the last month or two, which I guess, could just be summer break, I guess. Hataraku Mao-sama, Isekai Yakkyoku, Kanojo, Okarishimasu. Yeah, oh, Okarishimasu too. They came out with another one. Good to know. Been reading the manga for that one for a while here. Enjoyed the series. So, surprisingly, a much more wholesome series than the title might lead one to suggest. Yeah, Call Me Son is another one I've been meaning to check out. I kind of tried to start reading the manga and I got got off to a bit of a slow start, so I haven't gotten back to it yet, but my brother loves that series. Shadow House 2 as well? Okay. Overlord 4. Let's see. I don't know if I've seen all of 3 or just the start of that one. Actually, mentioning Shadow there reminds me. Finally got around to Sonic 2 here recently, and quite enjoyed it actually. Sonic films have been much better than I expected them to be. Um, Been an interesting change of pace there. We actually got my parents to watch them both recently, and they enjoyed them as well. So, always a pleasant surprise when you can get the whole family in on something. Another one I started showing my dad recently was Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinji, or basically that Rakugo anime that you can find on Crunchyroll. A lot of fun with that one. And so let's just go. There's the Takoyaki stickers. Um, yeah. Haven't shared too much with my father over the years just because it never seemed like something he'd be interested in, but um, yeah, we were looking for something to watch together about a month ago, and so yeah, it's, hey, yeah, if you're open to it, yeah, here's something that, yeah, it's not high school fare anyway. We'll put it that way. um, no, and well, my dad doesn't do much with subtitles there. The fact is, he was able to follow along enough. He's willing to give it another episode or two. So, like, oh, good. So, we'll see where that ends up. um, Also showed him the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack while we were working on a project last weekend, and he absolutely fell in love with that. So, might have an opening to show him that one as well. See where it goes. Good news, that is, in that particular case, there's a very well-reputed dub anyway. So, yeah. I'll make an exception to my usual policy of watching Raws for that.山を暗く黒金の城スーパーロボットマジンガー Z 無敵の力は僕らのために正義の心入った飛ばせ鉄拳ロケットパンチ今だ出すんだレストファイヤーマジンコマジンコマジンガー Z What are some other ones that I could sing? There you are.俺がやめたらだと誰がやるのか今見てる神は現実全滅だ走れパンパンパンパン走れパンパンパンパンビッグシューター風より速い Build up Bam 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 build up Bam 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 足が飛び出すパンパンパン腕が飛び出すパンパンパン磁力の威力だ鋼鉄ジグWe need to do Bad Advice Corner. That was a fun time, I will grant. I knew watching someone stamp something could be so satisfying. Oh, I'm glad people are enjoying this stream. I might have to do some more stickers, I guess. Yeah, like I said, I appreciate the company, if nothing else. Stickers go in the family sticker book. Nice. Where is Otakon, by the way? Otakon is at the Walter Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. It's not the Baltimore Convention Center. which is to say it's not home. At least it doesn't feel like home. But other than that, I have a hard time finding reasons to hate it. Um, it's rather convenient in its own way 'cause it's actually on the Washington Metro system there. It's got its own dedicated stop. If you look up the Washington, D.C. Metro there, look up the Convention Center stop, that's where it's located. Now, convention planning being what it is, of course, that stop is at the back of the convention center in an unused area. But so you're still gonna have to walk a block around with your bags to get to where you need to go. But it's still rather convenient if you want to try and come in from out of town and not have to stay right at the convention center. The first year was at the first year was at that convention center. I actually stayed with a friend who lived nearby and took the train in every day. So, do they have any conventions out where you are, Desk? Or? Yeah, walk around 2 blocks every day. Well, that's good. I need to get a little more exercise in myself, but again, that's part of where that VR set I got comes in, is trying to get a little more time in on like Beat Saber and stuff like that. I'll tell you what though, hauling an amp on the train was definitely an interesting experience. Fortunately, I was able to just check it at one of the hotel's counters there when I was for that weekend. So they don't actually check to make sure you're staying at the hotel. You give them a bag, they'll take the bag. So yeah, I wasn't sure knowing where you were whether there actually was anything or not. Um, so is the storm season getting ready to kick up out your way, or? We have exactly 5 more months of the rainy season. Got it. So it started nothing, it's been going. Yeah. I was born in San Diego, so yeah. My earliest memory is of fire as far as you can see on the horizon. And honestly, I can't remember a day of rain while I was there. I mean, I'm sure we probably had a little bit, but I don't remember any of it. So, anytime we get rain, I love it. The more exciting it is, the better. Little I love more than sitting on the porch watching a heavy storm pass through. Now, when you say rainy, do you mean like Florida, get rain at 4 o'clock for an hour every day? Or do you mean like, Vietnam style monsoon for, 8 months straight? Yeah, non stop rain for 8 months. Florida style times 5. Okay, okay. 5 to 7 hours straight. Got it. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I know we're going to be going to Otakon here. We handed out stickers last year, like the one you see right here, and so continuing with that, I promised people who showed up, who got a sticker last year, if they showed me their sticker this year, that I'd have something special for them. So we've got these ones here based off of our knife emote. Also, if you don't have last year's sticker, but if you mention you know me from Twitch, then or you've seen the stream, then we'll go ahead and give you one of those as well. And then this one here, based on our cheering takoyaki emote, is the main sticker we're handing out for visitors this year. So, but thank you for stopping in. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. No, it's been last year I put labels on them all manually, like printed them, and just put stickers on the back of stickers. As silly as that sounds, um, this year I decided that it'd be much easier to use a stamp to get it done here, and figured I'd go ahead and have a little bit of company while getting prepped. And people seem to be enjoying it as an ASMR style stream here, so it's like, okay, we can roll with that. Hey, Doc. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hurricane season doesn't affect your country much because your country is literally between the South American plate and the Caribbean plate, so half Caribbean and half South American. Okay. Didn't realize you were that far down. Not going to dock you. I thought you were on an island much further north than that. I get you, Kino. I get you. Yeah. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and have a shout out here for Dr. Beer as well. Dr. Beer is a Dark Souls streamer, a JoJo fan, and also the gentleman who very kindly built my streaming computer for me here. So, all around awesome guy. We met at Otakon many years ago. Jammed together in the halls on a couple of Ozzy and Metallica tracks, and have kept in touch since. And yeah, I think we're probably going to end up seeing each other this year as well. So. I realized my bot's lurk message there is still set to when we only did music streams on here. Yeah. Although it may be appropriate enough for this stream, so. Well, someone can look up the whisper me the lyrics for Baka Mitai. I'll even sing you a lullaby if you like. Saraba jikyu yo tabidatsu fune wa uchu senkan Yamato 宇宙の彼方いつかんだるへ燃えるロマン誰かやれをI can't quite remember all the lyrics for Yamato there. I've sung it while playing it on stream a few times here, but I have a reference that I use, so I haven't quite committed all the lyrics to memory. I've got a few holes here and there. But then again, it's karaoke. It's kind of almost better scuffed, isn't it? Baka mitai koto nano ne. Ore wa Ah. So what kinds of things do you stream, Elijah? Minecraft, Tetris, also very nice, very nice. And I used to be stupidly good at Tetris. I tried playing against people on Tetris.io these days, and oof. I don't know if I've just gotten old or people have just gotten that much better. Or it might have just been big fish in a small pond. Who knows? Uh, uh, Definitely plays differently from what I recall playing on the old Game Boy. We'll put it that way. Ooh, IRL volleyball, nice. Yeah, my main streams on here are doing bass jams to anime and game music, like what I'll be doing in the halls at Otakon here coming up. Um, and we do that on Monday nights. Um, Also, we've been doing a series of talks on Saturdays about the history of anime music and things like that. That series is probably getting ready to wrap up in the coming weeks here, just based on the what we have planned at the moment. But definitely looking for other topics to talk on here afterwards. So, yeah, if anybody has ideas, I'd like to maybe do a guest presentation, something like that. I'm happy to entertain some suggestions on that. Yeah. I see you know Kino as well. Ah, let's see. Number 4 in my country, literally horrible, so that should speak for itself. I see what you're saying. Yeah, sorry about that. We've got links restricted to VIPs here, so I know you didn't intend to put one in there. I guess Twitch just got a little smart and picked that one up. What's my rank in Tetris.io? I'm not ranked. I haven't played on there in about a year. The few times I did play was against one of the top-ranked Japanese players who happened to be a friend on a Discord server I was active on at the time. Yeah. So, suffice to say, it was a few times I did play, I got spanked pretty handily. That said, like I said, on the Game Boy version, I used to be really good back in the day. Record was 10 Tetrises in a row, or I think we got up to 168 lines one time. Game B on the old Game Boy version. Used to be able to do level 9 high five. Not every time I did it, but usually about 1 in 5 when I was at my best. As long as it's not TOS, as long as it's not a TOS violation, go ahead and say it. Now, when I was announcing the stream last night, I was looking for a gift for that one scene from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade when they're in the library and they're trying to break through the floor, and they got the guy, old man, stamping the books into the library, and it's like, ka-chung! As he smashes the tile, happens again and again, and it's like, what? And then the guy just, it's like, what? Yeah. Couldn't find it in the suggested stuff, so I ended up having to create the GIF myself for that one. Still don't regret getting a $150 keyboard specifically for rhythm games and Tetris. I definitely understand. Having the right equipment does make all the difference. I used to be a pretty serious DDR player back in the day, third mix specifically, and while there's nothing like an arcade machine, metal pads set up right at home can come close. They still drift a lot more than an arcade ever will, but definitely well worth that over using soft pads. We'll put it that way. Actually, some of my earliest non-music streams were DDR streams. Did those right around a year ago. Been a little while since I've done that. Maybe if we figure out a good way to set it up on this computer, we might go ahead and try it again. This keyboard is something else. Is this one of those custom, incomplete, custom format style keyboards, or is it still something else? Okay. One moment here. We're almost done this stack after all. Take a quick look for it. See what this is all about here. After that, pretty close. We've definitely made a dent in it. I mean, the pace we've been going here, yeah, that's about probably 40 minutes worth there. Hour if we have conversation. Let's see here. Look up this keyboard. First result. Da-da-da. Ah, ha 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 ha. I see. Not bad, not bad. I wonder if I should install OBS and stream this, but Wi-Fi isn't the greatest. Hey, can't hurt. It'd be interesting to check out a stream from you, like. No mini games. Do you feel like you'd be doing either Tetris or chess or Mahjong? You're not good in any of the three. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've done shogi stream before, and well, I'm not particularly good at that or any variant of chess either myself. Uh, Sometimes with streaming, it's more about just watching someone try something. Man. I've never played Mahjong Souls before, but I have done regular Mahjong. Yeah. How people manage to get the more complex hands, I've never quite figured out. It's all I can do to get a regular hand before they manage to flop that kind of stuff down. But I do enjoy playing a good round of it every now and then. I really wish I could get the camera to just stay one focal point here instead of adjusting it every time. Hey Nami, these are stickers actually. Good to see you. No, basically, last year we handed out this sticker to everybody who came by when I was jamming it in the halls at Otakon. And I told them that we'd have something special for them if they brought their sticker back the next year. So, for that, we decided to go ahead and do a sticker for the knife emote here for fun. And anybody who comes up and says they've watched the Twitch channel, by the way, is also welcome to one of these stickers. I've got plenty of them. And then this year, we decided to do the cheering takoyaki emote as our default sticker to hand out here. So we've got a total of 600 here, and it's kind of turned into a bit of an ASMR stream here, marking them with my contact information on the back. Last year I printed a bunch of Avery labels and stuck them onto the back, and that was time consuming and honestly a bit stressful making sure we got things positioned right for 200 stickers. So with 600 this time, I decided to invest in a good stamp here, and people have found it rather satisfying actually, apparently, so just kind of running with it. But no, how have you been, Nami? Just tired. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So, anything exciting for you this convention season? You going to be hitting anything, or getting food soon? Not a bad idea. I'm probably going to see about something after stream here. Hopefully, my brother will be back with my car by then. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, as I've said, if anybody here would like a sticker, especially for sitting and watching this, though, just let me know where to send stuff, and I'll be happy to send a couple over. Nice, nice. I hope that'll work out for you. Yeah, information's not shared. Yeah, it's only for the purpose of sending something out if someone opts into it. So. half the people here I think I know in person, so. Hey, Collie, it's good to see you. How have you been? Yeah, getting prepared for Otakon here, so we've been getting some stickers ready out there to hand out along the way. Specifically, this little guy in particular. So, looking forward to that this coming weekend. Next weekend, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, kind of started the tradition last year. We were handing out this sticker to anybody who came by and promised them that if they came back next year, we'd have something special for them. So, yeah, we decided to do the takoyaki here as the new design for this year. Partially because that's got to taken over as our lead branding wise. And also for the special one here, we went ahead and did our knife our knife emote here just because it's a fun one. Anybody who comes up and says they've watched the stream as well will also be entitled to one of those. This one though is my name stamp that I used when I was in Japan. It says Kaji, just like my username. First, yeah, due to the way it fits on the stamp there, it's kind of reproportioned the characters a little bit, so they're 2 blocks wide instead of 1 by 1, so you can fit them into a 1 by 1 space. But yeah, I've been using that as my personal mark for branding various things. Jeez, since I got back from Japan, which would be a long time ago. um, but yeah, no, and for anybody else here who likes my linguistic content, by the way, Kali here is a linguist herself, specializing in Breton and various other languages as well, and in fact has a PhD in linguistics. It's very interesting dropping in on some of the study sessions there, and always learning something new from it along the way. Actually, something that might be of interest to you coming up here, Kali, you might see it scrolling in the box over here on the right, is we're going to be doing a collab with an Austrian friend on Sunday around 3 p.m. Eastern, most likely. We still need to set the time for certain, but based on their usual streaming times, it's probably when it'll be. But we are going to be doing the co-op mode in Portal 2, and it's basically going to be the first real practical test of how far my German skills have come since starting it at the end of March. So, really looking forward to seeing how that goes. So, and then recently we've also been doing Keep Talking Nobody Explodes collabs with our mod Zoigle here in Japanese. And that's been so much fun. We've even been playing it off string quite a bit in between things. just trying to find ways to, you know, make language learning interesting, practical, and above all, fun. Um, because, as you know better than probably anybody else in the room here, Kali, the biggest thing with language, learning a language, if you want to get good at it good with it at all, is you need to use it. And it's good to get in situations that give you opportunities for different conversations beyond "hello, how are you" all the time. And Cosita, thank you for the takoyaki. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, if you ever want to try it with something sometime, I'm definitely open to it. Or if you have any recommendations on games that might be a good fit, definitely open to that. Hey, Kidoka, welcome back. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, I'm sure we can figure something out. Um, yeah, and truth is, even if someone wants to do something and they don't know Japanese or German, I'm always open to trying to learn new things. So, if someone wants to, teach me a bit of their language or something like that, we're absolutely open to it. Um, I did a guest spot on another friend's stream once because they wanted to do the Ukrainian Duolingo, which is an interesting experience as someone who had prior experience doing Russian and Serbian years ago. So it's interesting seeing how much of that I could kind of bluff from my knowledge of Russian and seeing which ways they were different from each other. Yeah. Hello, Kosita. It's good to see you. Yeah. But yeah, so as we've been mentioning, this is prep for Otakon here, which is not this weekend, but the weekend after. So it's gonna, in some ways, it's gonna be like an extended base stream here, except I won't be streaming it because I don't want to think of what that would do to my cell phone bill. But I will be playing in the halls most of the weekend. Previous years, I've gotten between 18 and 24 hours of playing time out in the halls there. So I'll usually be hanging out by the entrance to the artist alley, in the dealer's room, so very easy to find. Yeah, I'm not an official guest, but I've been an informal guy just jamming in the hall since 2013 over there. And staff has known about me every year and kind of looks forward to it. I'll typically get a pro forma, watch the volume one time early in the convention, and then after that, we're golden. Um, and the convention center staff in particular enjoys it because it's a change of pace from just listening to the crowds all day. Um, and then another, as you can also see in the ads on the side there, we're going to be doing a panel for the first time this year. So basically, what I've done is I've distilled my over 20 years of experience learning kanji to figure out what are the most important elements and what's the to figuring out how kanji work and making it easier to tackle that process. Yeah, so effective kanji learning strategies is the unwieldy name I registered it under. I've kind of given it a new working name of how I learned to stop worrying and love kanji. If anybody has anything better, feel free to throw it out there. Um, um, but yeah, there's a whole lot to it. There's definitely plenty to fill the hour with. But if I had to distill it down to a couple of primary points, basically, the gist of it is understanding that, um, yeah, when it comes to language learning, there's a lot of things people say, like, like when I started learning Japanese, for example, it's like, well, you should learn Spanish. There's a lot of use for Spanish, and all the Japanese people are learning English anyway. And it's like, that may be true, but truth is, the semester I took, I started teaching myself Japanese the same time I was taking a semester of Spanish in college, and the short version is Yo tengo grande fe en la clase de español, but I had taught myself 2 years of college Japanese before starting college Japanese the next semester. um, no, I'm gonna be running the panel on my own here, Colleen. But so it's gonna be just me for this one. But basically, I've got a talk prepared here that goes into all of the stuff. Um, Basically, one of the big things here, getting started with any kind of language learning, is it has to be something you really want to learn. Yeah, if you're doing it just because someone says it'll be useful, generally speaking, practicality isn't enough to really motivate people to stick with things long term, in my experience. Um, or even just, oh, that could be fun. Could be fun. Like, oh, it'd be fun to learn as many languages as I can. That's great, but it's not specific, and so you kind of get lost, get tired, get frightened by some things along the way. But if you actually really jump into something because you've got a motivation to do it, hey, Clerk Tomy Bro, thank you very much for the follow. Like for me, I was really motivated because I wanted to be able to read manga and watch anime without any middleman. For example, was my driving factor when I first started studying Japanese, and yeah, I just kind of embraced the differences as well as the other thing there. It's frankly, a lot of people like, well, Japanese is so different from English there, you've got to learn all these writing systems, and, the grammar is completely different, the words are completely different, and that's true, but that doesn't necessarily make it harder. What it does mean is it's, well, different. But if you embrace the differences as something exciting instead of something frightening, it's interesting how far you can get. Um, the way I put it with my experience with learning Japanese is that it's amazing how far you can get, how easy something can be if you don't know that it's supposed to be hard. Um, and truth of the matter is, just like how English has largely done away with grammatical gender cases and things like that, um, if people don't see a value in complexity, especially in language, um, it's going to be shed over time. And the fact that Japanese and Chinese have maintained such a complex writing system indicates that there is clear value that it's providing. Um, the fact of the matter is, a lot of kanji education, as I've seen it practiced over the past 20 years, actively defeats a lot of the things that are there to make it easier in the name of trying to keep it simple or trying to get with the times because, we're always going to have a computer, so why learn to write things by hand, for example? Um, when the fact of the matter is, to be honest, I've learned the fastest in Japanese when I've been doing the most writing manually. Um, and I've got a bunch of exercises and things like that I'll be working in as part of the panel, teaching people how to do that. Um, yeah. Uh, Getting back to the initial point there, though, about, this is practical, whatever. The fact of the matter is, I mean, I've seen a lot of people argue before as well that, you know, well, the best way to learn is by immersion, and certainly immersion is a great tool. But, I mean, I remember when I was studying in Japan, I saw fellow exchange students who almost knew less Japanese by the end of it than when they'd started because they actively avoided having to use it or made other people accommodate them, you know. And it's a similar kind of thing. You can say, well, you know, I'll put myself in a situation where I need to use the language, but if you really are committed to not learning the language, or you're really not interested in learning the language, you'll find ways to work around it. So that in and of itself isn't enough. Kiroko, this is why I hate simplified Chinese. It loses a lot of the meaning the original traditional characters had. Yes. I think the difficulty of kanji is mostly in the fact that they use the same kanji pronounced differently in different contexts. That definitely can affect some of it. But I think you really hit on something there with simplified Chinese as well, because I've been, in preparing my materials for this, I've been going over the Joyo kanji in particular, the everyday use kanji in particular, and doing things like looking at them categorized by radical and things like that. And it's really interesting sometimes where you see things like, because Japanese, while it hasn't gone whole hog simplified, the way that Chinese as written on the mainland has. You know, Japanese did go through a limited process of simplification following World War II, and yeah, it's interesting sometimes seeing like. You get my pad of paper here real quick. For example. Okay. We have this kanji here, which is the tan in kantan, the word for easy. And believe it or not, the radical, or the piece that this kanji is categorized by in dictionaries, is the mouth radical, which is a square. Now, you might think, and I apologize that the camera is kind of going in and out of focus here, but you might think the square that it's referencing is this big box here that has the plus inside of it. And you would be wrong. Where it actually comes from is that the traditional form of this character has two squares on top of it, and then the rest of it looks like the modern character. So, vestigially, if you're trying to figure out where it is, it's basically those three dots up on top, really, that are the radical here. In a similar way, the kanji for tame or suru looks like this. And again, this one, the radical for it looks like that. However, it's again missing. It's again just a vestigial dot in the corner there. Whereas before, I want to say it looked something like this. I'm a little rusty on that one in particular. But it's another example that I'd stumbled across while going through things here in some of my recent research and going over my notes. But one of the big things too is that writing kanji out writing things by hand forces you to be observant, to notice the differences between things. One of my favorite words in Japanese for demonstrating the similarity of kanji at times is daijoubu. It's okay. Which, especially those first two characters, which use essentially the same strokes in the same order, even just with the third one offset to the left a little bit. you know, it can be a little hard sometimes to tell that these are in fact different characters. A person 51, welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. Um, but by writing them down, you can start appreciating the fact that um, Dai and Joel are unique, and what makes them unique, or like how Bu, which is two horizontal lines, and then the basically superimposed on a person there, is different from 10, which basically takes the higher the two horizontal lines, moves it to the top of the character. Um, yeah, I never figured out kanji, only hiragana and katakana. Yeah, a lot of people get there, and that's a respectable place to get to. That at least gets you functional and working in native Japanese scripts to an extent. Um, One of the interesting things, too, by the way, about kanji is that while the Joyo kanji, the everyday use kanji, number I think 2136 at last count, so about 2100 characters. The truth is, 80% of what gets printed in Japanese is from the most common 500 characters, which, yes, relative to an alphabet with 26 letters in it, that seems like a whole lot still, but it's really not as much as you think, especially when you consider that 26 letters have two forms each, so you're at 50 right there, which is 10% of the way. Um, and the fact is, when you see these things with so much frequency, they really become second nature over time with practice. But again, it's about practice. Um, yeah. Let's see where to go from there. I hadn't necessarily expected to just hop right into this here, but yeah, since we are here. um, but another interesting thing too about kanji is that they are not. A lot of people like to think of them as um, thousands of unique images that have nothing in relation to each other, and in many ways that can't be further from the truth. I mean, just right off the bat, we were mentioning radicals, which are ways to categorize similar kanji. So, for example, this character here is to speak. Um, and you'll see it appear in many different kanji that have to do with language and communication. So, for example, if we put it to the left side of the character for tongue, and as one character, we get um, to talk, hanashi, hanasu. If we put it next to this, which suggests the pronunciation go, we get go as in like gengo, language, nihongo, eigo. Then that would be dan, as in danwa, jodan, jodan, for example. Um, and so forth. So there are many ways to get semantic clues, things like that, from the start. Um, and actually, like we were mentioning, this actually demonstrates a couple of important concepts, even just with those three that we were going over there. For example, yeah, there's a certain amount of recursion in kanji structures there. Um, like we said, in this one, the left side is a semantic clue that it has to do with communication. The right side, um, in this case, isn't really a strong phonetic clue, but it is nonetheless another character. So, in terms of composition, instead of remembering it as one complete thing unto itself, you can think of it almost in a manner similar to spelling, where, you know, kind of like how we have, you know, CAT for cat, and it needs to be in that order and position relative to each other to spell the word properly. You know, ACT is act, not cat. It's a different word. Um, and similarly, you can take the different elements in kanji and break them down into smaller, familiar elements that are easy to remember in certain patterns there. Um, and then, as we were mentioning here with the second one, of course, we have our semantic clue on the left. This one is, in fact, an explicit phonetic hint. And there are many kanji, especially ones that have strongly semantic radicals, that do give you hints at least one of their common pronunciations, their onyomi in particular, the Chinese-derived readings. The native Japanese readings, you're on your own a little bit. But that said, you know, another powerful tool within another thing that makes kanji a powerful tool within the Japanese language as well, relative to learning other languages, is that, you know, in learning most languages, you're constantly trying to find vocabulary lists. You're looking for more words you can learn and practice with and things like that. Kanji is, first off, the kunyomi, the native Japanese readings, give you a ready set of ready conversational word list to learn from. The kunyomi are actual words you can find in the dictionary and use. And by extension, the onyomi, the Chinese-derived readings, are your system of roots, prefixes, and suffixes, similar to the way that we use Latin and Greek in English. And so if you learn those, you can very quickly learn to get a gist of what a character, what an unfamiliar word means and even rough guess of how to pronounce it, by having awareness of the characters that come together to form that word. So, it's not the complete presentation there, but those are just a couple of brief preview highlights from it there. And yeah, once I have a chance to prepare some of my materials for it a little more fully, we will be, in fact, doing a version of it here on the stream, if not before Otakon, then probably the week following. Yeah. Oh, we have a health and wellness check there. Because so busy with the other, I need to take care of that. So, yeah, our water here for hydration. And we'll go ahead and stretch for a minute. Can you get one without having to screen record? Oh, you know, you're talking about little Elijah there, Kino? my pleasure. Now, if there's one thing I love as much, if not more, than learning languages, it's sharing them with others. I mean, I've been teaching what I know in Japanese for almost as long as I've been studying it in some manner. um, so, it's always fun having people asking questions or sharing their experiences and being able to talk about those kinds of things there. That's one of the really interesting and refreshing things, really, about taking on German over the past several months. Is being able to get a sense of where of things from the start, doing it fresh again here, and kind of experiencing things as a beginner again. Alright, and that was my brother ringing in on the phone there, so I'm going to need to step out for just one moment. I will be right back. So... Okay, so that was my brother there. So I'm gonna have to head out in about 10 minutes here, but until then, let's go ahead and get these last few done here, and let's take a quick look at where we might go next. It's on right now. Oh, someone else is still doing ASMR from where I was hanging out earlier. Interesting. We might go ahead and drop in on them unless they are getting ready to wrap up. Hey, Kino, if you could check on someone for me. I just whispered you as a potential raid target. Like I said, I've got to wrap things up here within the next, 5-8 minutes here. But again, it's been a real pleasure chatting with everybody here today. It's been nice seeing people stop in and having a chance to do a daytime stream. So we'll see about maybe trying to do some more again here as we get the chance. I whispered it to you, so if you could just give it a quick check, that'd be great. Okay, well in that case, don't worry, because I'm about done, so we'll just go ahead and roll with it. Hey, Hanabi, welcome back. We are just about to wrap up here. So, I've got to meet my brother in just a moment. Yep, down to last two now. And done. So, thank you very much to everybody who's joined us today. As I said, I've got to wrap things up here real quick. So, I really love the Jackson plushie. Alright, so we are going to raid someone who, as of when I checked a moment ago, is still running here. And who happens to be doing a ASMR stream that I was actually hanging out on before we started here. So, okay, did I misspell it? Oh, I did. I added an extra key. So, let's see here. We'll go ahead and do Sensei raid, I guess, for this one. So, there's one for everybody and one for... Oh, Nightbot expired. I'll have to go ahead and fix that here. Alright. So, with that, though, I will see everybody again soon. So, have a great afternoon.